Alrighty, it's time to continue looking at the never-ending source of amusement that is 0645-2017. That is to say, Kent Hovind and the crew at Dinosaur Adventureland. Now, as a reminder, for those just coming in who may be new to my videos, one, I had to mute there because I yawned, because I yawn a lot in the afternoon. But more importantly, I do these videos because Kent Hovind is objectively a terrible person. His record, his history shows that he is just not a good person. Period. By no judgment would anyone say he's good. If you think differently, good for you. You can go hang out in his streams and his channel and his chat and his Facebook and whatever. Don't care. He also, however, is so ridiculous that he's a lolcow. We've classed him as such. So that's what we, the community of Hovind watchers, so we treat him like we would any lolcow. He's just a particular one we pick. I don't know how else to phrase it. But so many people seem to not get it that I thought I might as well at least open with that. But right, enough preamble. Let's get right into it with him finishing, hopefully, Psalm 119 with this video titled, You Cannot Lose Your Salvation.
Good evening, folks. Kent Hovind here in the crew at Dinosaur Adventureland in lovely
Oh, good. The audio is reasonable. Yay.
Lenox, Alabama. Boy, did we get a rainstorm today for a couple hours, then fine again. Almost got half the roof on, though, over the camper. Never mind. Come visit. It is June 17th.
I'm going to bring up something completely random. Never mind. Come see this random thing I said not to. I'm not going to bring up, and this is stuff I visit. And come visit. That's what I mean. Come visit.
2025. We'll be in Psalm 119, the longest chapter in the Bible, pretty much dead center. You cannot lose your salvation. Christians have argued about this for eons. Okay, when God gives you a gift of salvation, can you possibly lose it? If you could, everybody would lose it every day.
All right then, Kent. So you're complaining about atheists and saying you're trying to save people is pointless because a large portion. Sorry, it's been one of those days. A large portion of the atheist community is made up of ex-Christians. A very large majority of it in the Western world. So you're fighting a pointless battle because the Salvation Act has already occurred. And if you can't lose it at all, then no actions cause you to not be saved, which is funny that, you got to be saved by the person who's going to be the one punishing you. Seems a little like extortion to me, but what do I know? Then your whole attempt at stuff is completely pointless. You negate your own reason for doing anything.
Every day. See, they don't understand. Well, we'll get into that in a minute. Psalm 119 in a minute. Okay, let's see. We're on a bunch of channels, plus our app, the TV show, Kent Hovind.
It's not a goddamn TV show. It's a bunch of your shitty videos on an overpriced hosting service. I could have done it for 1/10 of that. $600 a year. I could have handled that shit. I'm not even kidding. I'm most certain I could. Also, as you can tell, I am not in the mood to do this, but I'm doing it as a matter of course. So if I don't seem as enthusiastic, that's why. I'm fucking tired, and I'm currently running, for me, a slight fever. So let's keep this going.
.tv, free. Costs us $6,000 a year to do that if you want to help us pay for
Well, let me play you a song on the world's smallest violin.
it, but it reaches people for free. We just want to get the gospel out to everybody. So be sure to like the channel, share it, subscribe, all that kind of stuff, and share the message with somebody else. This one I think will help people. You can join our 777 club, which I don't even...
According to Kent's logic, I'm still going. So, and with the shit I've said, it'd be amazing, but, in my opinion, nobody gets eternally punished, honestly. I'm not even kidding. Any all-loving God would not eternally punish people. So,
I don't even know who's in it. I don't want to know. But if you want to help us stay open for free, give $1 a day. Take us on for $31 a month. as a missionary gift to the ministry. Okay, you can connect all those black dots, or what do you have to do, Joseph? Do something.
The more you brag about not looking at the finances, that tells us you constantly look at the finances.
Okay, good luck with that one. Our website, Dr. Dino, 9 years now, open for free. We love it here. Get our video series, What on Earth, about the Creation Seminar series, or our series on what's about to happen in the future. You can see it coming like a freight train with Iran. Keep an eye on the.
Here we go. I knew he was going to bring up Iran, not Iran, you uncultured swine. Also, wow. Wow. Also, coming like a freight train. Is it like a freight train coming your way? And it comes to be the soothing light at the end of your tunnel? It's just a freight train coming your way? Tell me the song, the band, and the concert. If you know, you know. And if someone does guess it or remember to bring it up, I'll let you know something, a little dark fact about that particular band's concert, the date of it.
The news, and keep an eye on the book of Daniel and the book of Revelation, and get my book and my videos on what's about to happen. It's all coming together. Okay, here we are in Lenox, Alabama, straight north of Pensacola.
But it's totally not a doomsday death cult. Also, if Cheeto Mussolini does decide to, begin war with Iran, which, like, they could strike the U.S. with anything other than terrorist tactics, hell, Israel took out a bunch of their remaining F-14 stock. It's sad to see them go, but it's like, they're losing the best fighter they got. That tells you plenty. What I was going to say is it just vindicates my constant commentary of no, Republicans are very warmongering, contrary to what a lot of right-leaning people want to say. I don't like war. We don't want war. It's like, but you want a massive-ass government. You feed the military-industrial complex. And seems like every time we have a Republican president, some kind of conflict gets started.
About 65 or 70 miles, right across interstate. 4 miles away off the interstate. Here we are, right there. Psalm 119. So we're going to go to slide number, let me go back home here, 5.
Yeah, Ken Hovind's a piece of shit. And if you're one of the Hovindites coming here, is that man still alive? Okay, so you're not a Hovindite. Sorry, with a name like Godspeed and the trolling we had yesterday. Yeah, he's surprisingly doing well for 72 and somehow staying out of prison. So, yep, he's still around. Hey, Otaku, and hey, Zach, Brock, Laura, everybody, Seth. I gotta be like, hey, what up? And yes, many people will be suspected of being Hovindites if I don't recognize the name. So if you're not a Hovindite, just be very clear at the beginning, like, oh, this clown, something to let me know.
535, enter.
They're paranoid, man. They're coming from all sides. Got Charlie's up in the trees.
Remember, this psalm is broken up into groups. Every 8 verses starts with a different letter of the Hebrew alphabet. So in the Hebrew, it's Aleph, Beth, Gimel, Daleth. I don't know, speak Hebrew, but
as he uses the Greek, variations on the Greek constructs. I don't know the Hebrew lettering at all, but I mean that I get a feeling that's just completely freaking wrong, or is otherwise a modern variation.
There we are up to Shemek, whatever that is. And so this verse 113.
Samek, and I hope Lamech is after this because it just be right.
13 and the next 8, the next 7, all 8 verses start with that particular letter in the Hebrew alphabet. It's an acrostic. I hate vain thoughts, but thy law do I love. We talked about the law of God the other night, how important just God's law is perfect. Here's my book, The Kennel.
Okay, that clears Godspeed. They were banned from Hovind stream. Well, welcome to the party. I do this way too often, and I say exactly what I'm thinking. I apologize that I'm not at 100%, but my audience can tell you these things get pretty damned interesting. Oh, that was bad Hebrew? Bad Hebrew, but it was Hebrew? Thank you, Laura. This is why I like having, well, I mean, you're awesome, but I always have to stress this is a real good reason to have you here. A reason I really like is because you really know this stuff. The trees are speaking Finnish. Finnish trees. Okay, let me click back. God, I'm having trouble operating the computer. You can tell I don't feel good. I can't operate the computer. Someone get me a typewriter, which I have 4 of in this room.
We should not have a prison system at all. You know how much money is spent locking people up?
You know how much money is locked up in the banks of billionaires who don't fucking deserve it and don't actually spend it? Thus causing everyone else to do without, the country to do without? Had the inequality of resources? Maybe we shouldn't have rich people. I like that meme that said once you reach $100,000, it's like congratulations, or maybe $1 million. You get a little plaque that says congratulations, you win at capitalism.
Billions and billions of dollars. Simple. Find them, beat them, or kill them. If I become president, I can empty out 99% of the prison system. And
I would say being a felon, you couldn't be president, but obviously that's no longer the case. Trust me, Kent. I have better chances of becoming president than you. And technically, I've run twice.
a few weeks, give people an option. Hey, you got 5 more years to serve. You want 20
I was also Times Person of the Year 2006.
lashes and go home? Yeah. Okay. If you do the crime again, we're going to shoot you. Okay. Yeah. Certain criminals ought to just be shot. Certain crimes, just shoot them.
Fuck it. I mean, shit, I'll say that myself. Sometimes as a joke. It's actually a reference to a scene in the film The Wizard. You know, that 1989, Fred Savage film, basically a Nintendo commercial. Favorite movie. Yeah, I'm one of those guys. And I blame Jenny Lewis on being part of the reason I like redheads, but that's another story for another time. Point is, there's actually a line in there where the father of the 2 main characters, the brothers, says to a guy who catches quote-unquote runaways, you make money off little kids, you ought to be shot. And I've always used that as a thing. So it's just funny hearing Kent say that because it's like, shit. That sounds like something I'd say, but I'm saying it as a joke. You ought to be shot. Also, my song reference earlier, since nobody got it, Freight Train Coming Your Way, Soothing Light at the End of Your Tunnel, Metallica, No Leaf Clover from the S&M Symphony and Metallica concerts in '99. Not London Symphony, Seattle Symphony Orchestra. Very, very amazing performance. One of the shows happened to be April 20th of 1999. Yeah. So weird little dark correlation there. I think it was the 19th, 20th, and 21st. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday that those concerts occurred and were recorded into the album. So yeah. Let's continue.
Okay. Or electric, whatever's cheaper. 30 out 6. Well, I don't know. Okay. Thou art my hiding place and my shield. I hope in thy word. Many of the Psalms have inspired people to write music, like Thou art my hiding place. Ira Sankey was a great musician, did his own hymn book back in the days of D.L. Moody, back in the 70s or 80s.
Oh man, D.L. Moody, you say? Wow. I totally don't give a fuck. And hey, Kent, you better not fucking sing. I am in no mood for your shitty singing.
Ira Sankey, famous hymnal. Thou art my hiding place. Thou art, O Lord, my hiding place, my soul beneath thy care. It inspired a song, okay? There's many, you can just Google Thou art my hiding place, or they change it. They don't like the King James, thou art. They say you are. But anyway, look.
Yeah, because we don't talk like that anymore. Hey, Kent, you want to know something funny? So, there is a song called White Dove Fly High, known in the West from some churchy band, Counting Crows or something like that, or something by that name. I'm not sure. It opens with some stuff in another language that there's literally in the video or in comments on YouTube, people all being like, "What language is that?" And others are like, "It's Hebrew," and it's like, no, it's actually a North Korean operatic song that they usurped for their own ends. And they actually have the original Korean in the first verse. It's a beautiful song. Absolutely love it. I actually used it one of my earliest live streams. It was one of the songs you heard in the little interlude build up as I was getting ready to actually being like, okay, psyching myself up that I can do this before I got comfortable live streaming. Beautiful piece. And yeah, so that got turned, a piece of North Korean music got turned into a worship song. Wrap your head around that one, Kent. And the song really is just about it's pigeon, really, is what it kind of translates into, but white dove, same difference in the Korean. Which gave me an interesting thought, is that it's a wild thought that you could actually, a bird, if you're hanging out in like Seoul, a bird that just randomly lands on like your balcony or something could have flown in from the north, and it could have been in North Korea, an hour ago, and it just hops over, nothing cares. But people can't do that. Really put a lot of stuff in perspective for me. But if you know about me, you know I care a lot about the Korean situation, and yeah. Hits deep for some reason, even though I have no actual connections there. Let's continue.
Look it up. It's a great song. Depart from me,
Yeah, White Dove Fly High is a great song.
ye evildoers, for I will keep the commandments of my God. Uphold me according to thy word, that I may live. And let
Otaku, you're not supposed to tell everybody. That's the joke. Who wasn't? Technically, anyone who wasn't born then. Technically speaking, anyone yet to be born.
me not be ashamed of my hope. Hold thou me up, and I shall be safe.
Although, since I think technically Time Person in the year 2006 was quote unquote you, by reading that statement, you get grouped in even if you didn't exist, and it just gets retroactively applied. So I don't know. I mean, fuck, Hitler was Times Person of the Year 1 year. But again, it doesn't mean best person. It means most influential, and it was a very sardonic award given to him, if you can think of it as such. Oh yes, this is true. As Seth puts, a reminder that we have a GoFundMe to help Seth get down here to Memphis. Me and him can get an apartment together. Next task is renting the U-Haul. It's definitely not cheap. Godspeed says, I think the only reason Kent Hovind isn't also Flat Earther is because he knew he was pushing the envelope, convincing people the Flintstones was a documentary. Maybe so. Maybe he knew where to draw the line. Maybe. He thought, surely if he said the earth was flat too, like the Bible does, he'd be cooked. Yeah, and you know what's interesting? Kent has admitted that he believes the moon landings happened, but also that the film we see of Apollo 11 was actually staged, that they filmed it, but the film was bad, so they faked it. So he agrees with the faking in the studio theories, but thinks we still actually went. I've never heard anyone have that kind of take, and it's just like, wow, okay. That's a new one, Kent. Let's continue with this clown while I check on your comments.
I will have respect unto thy statutes continually. Statutes are the laws that God gave. Thou hast trodden down all them that err from thy statutes, and their deceit is.
Hell yeah, Otaku. That's the way to watch The Wizard, a crummy old VHS. I actually downloaded a copy of a VHS rip specifically so I could have that experience again, since I no longer have my childhood tape, which had issues right when the guy at Universal was saying, sit down and have fun, damn it. The tape had gotten like accidentally crunched up, so I always remember that. So it's weird watching it where it actually works. But yeah, I've seen The Wizard so many fucking times. Absolutely love it. Actually need to watch it again recently. Or need to watch it again sometime soon. I'm really in the mood to. Maybe do a review of it. That'd be fun.
Is falsehood. Thou puttest away all the wicked of the earth like dross. Therefore I love thy testimonies. My flesh trembleth for fear of thee. I am afraid of thy judgments. Dross, in case you don't know, waste or impure matter, the scum that forms on the surface of molten metal.
Oh, so, well, I would say you, but you're not molten metal. 1980s isn't the 1880s, though. What did, Raymond White here says there is actually a god and goddess. I'm at least more akin to concepts like that, given my leanings towards pagan type theologies, as opposed to other stuff. So, you ain't gonna get any crap from me here. Met them both. Cool. Yeah, seriously, I'm not gonna give crap. I'm okay. I can jive with that. King James English, especially my metal music and D&D campaign where everyone dies. But I'm the OG edgelord. Nice. Like, you're not going to survive this campaign, but let's see how far you can go.
As you melt iron ore, for instance, the scum floats to the top, and they're constantly scraping off the scum to get it more pure with whatever metal it is. This is called the dross.
Otaku, it's actually not super deep. It's definitely a healthy interest, but I have a major love of the music. Absolutely love North Korean music. I'm intending to write an article on it. It's been years overdue. Some of it's just damn good, even if it is propaganda, and other pieces are just beautiful. And contrary to popular belief, some songs do make it to the South. Himwari, whistle. Himwari is Japanese for flowers. Sorry, that got stuff mixed up. Or is it? Fuck. Now I gotta look it up real quick. God damn it. I'm 99% sure. Yeah, that's Himwari is Japanese for flower. I forget what whistle is in the Korean. But that song do 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 is popular enough in the South, as well as incidentally, My Country Is the Best, which is one of my favorite pieces of music ever. Just a propaganda piece from right after the fall of the Soviet Union, but it actually the verbiage in it applies to Korea on a whole, and so it has a bit of popularity in the South. It's crazy stuff.
They scrape it off, skimming dross off of melted aluminum. Dross is mentioned in the Bible 8 different times. Now put us to away all the wicked of the earth like dross. Get rid of them.
Got some geometra coming in from Raymond here.
They're no good. Okay. Take away the dross from the silver. There shall come forth a vessel for the fighter. And Ezekiel, my son, the house of Israel is to me become dross. God said to Ezekiel, I'm sick of these folks. They become dross. That's not a compliment, okay? Therefore, thus saith the Lord, because you are become dross, therefore I will gather you into the midst of Jerusalem. I would advise you, as you read through the Bible, look up words you don't know what they mean. There's probably 30 or 40 archaic words that are used in the King James that we don't use today. Well, look them up and learn them. That's not that.
Yeah, Stalin, I think he was. Hell, I think Mussolini actually was as well. Like, I think that's an odd trifecta that Stalin, Hitler, and Mussolini were all times person of the year, different years.
That hard to read. I've done judgment and justice. Leave me not to mine oppressors. Be surety for thy servant, for good, and let not the proud oppress me.
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water, turning the freaking frogs gay. Do you understand that? There you go. You didn't even pay for that one. You just got it because I needed to vent. Had a shitty day.
What is surety? Well, surety, how it works with bonds and distinctions. A surety is the organization or person that assumes the responsibility of paying the debt. Somebody says, if you don't pay the debt, I will be
39 and 42. Thank you.
surety, I will pay your debt for you. That's what surety means, okay? In finance, a surety, a guarantee, involves a promise by one party to assume.
So, Last Starfighter is funny because it's Last Starfighter on the NES, right? But it was a port, like a conversion of a reasonably older game called Iridium that's on like Commodore 64 and the like. Same game, which is actually pretty cool because it works. So, I've never seen Last Starfighter as a movie. I've been meaning to, but never did. So, I don't know. I really need to get around to this stuff, but instead I'm too busy whacking Hovind.
Responsibility for the debt of a borrower if they don't pay. That's what surety is. You look up surety bonds, just type in surety, it'll come up all over the internet, okay? God said in Genesis 43, Israel said, what dealt ye so ill with me to tell the man you had a brother? You know the story. Jacob, whose name God changed to Israel, had 12 sons. The older brothers got sick of their younger brother Joseph having all these visions from God about the future. And so they sold him to be a slave in Egypt. They sold their own brother.
That was widely regarded as a dick move.
and be a slave. And then they were starving and they sent somebody down to buy food. And one of them said, that's Joseph down there. He's now the vice pharaoh of Egypt. God sent Joseph ahead of time. It's a long, cool story. Anyway, so then bottom line is Joseph asked these guys, his brothers, is there another brother? They said, yeah, Benjamin. That was his full brother. The rest were all half brothers. Long story. Anyway, Judah said to Israel, send the lad with me. Because Joseph said, don't come back for more food until you bring Benjamin, the young boy.
Man, I am so behind on the chat. And Japanese, Hana is Japanese for flowers. Himari is sunflower. Thank you. I remember it from Dance Dance Revolution.
Brother, that we may live and not die, both we and thou and our little ones. I will be surety for him. Here's the brother telling the dad, look, send the little brother with me. I'll pay the debt if he doesn't come back. That's what surety means, okay? I will be surety for him.
You would know. I'm sure you've been on a surety bond at least once in your life.
The servant became surety for the lad unto my father.
Hovind Jerusalem syndrome. I'm not sure.
This is him explaining to Joseph, look, because Joseph said, I'm keeping the boy here. He said, look, you got to send him back. Keep me instead. It's a long, cool story in Genesis 44. He said, lay down now, put me in surety with thee. Who is he that will strike hands? Be surety for thy servant for good. How about this one? My son, if thou, Proverbs 6, if thou be surety for thy friend, if you've stricken your hand.
So it's a funny thing with K-pop is that I am super out of date intentionally with it. A lot of stuff I like is generally very late 80s through the 90s into the early 2000s and maybe a bit of early 2010s stuff from particular artists who kept on going. So it's a lot of the classic stuff. The new stuff, it just doesn't hit me the same way. So it's just a particular thing. But part of that is due to my exposure to Korean pop heavily being the dance game Pump It Up. And what were selected for that series, the artist and stuff, plus particular stylings of homebrew compositions, you could say, from Yap and Banya.
Hand with a stranger, try to get out of that deal. Solomon telling his sons, the wisest man in the world, Solomon, in the book of Proverbs, don't become surety for anybody else. Because if they give up the debt, if they don't pay the debt, you got to pay it. He that is surety for a stranger shall smart for it. That means you're going to hurt, okay? A man void of understanding striketh hands and becometh surety in the presence of his friend. By so much.
Hey, Davy Mo, good to see you.
Was Jesus made a surety of a better testament? Wait. Book of Hebrews, New Testament. Jesus is the surety. He's the one going to take our place.
Oh yeah, slavery's just right in there, and there's like, oh, it was indentured servitude. It wasn't slavery, or oh, it was a different time, or oh, those laws don't apply to us, or Jesus changed them. It's like, but they're still slaves. Like, please explain to me how it doesn't say they're slaves, because it does. God condones slavery. That right there is a dick move.
That's the whole point. God, it says in 2 Corinthians, who sealed us and given us the earnest of the Spirit in our hearts. Earnest is a down payment. You're going to buy a house, you say, I'm serious.
Raymond, does Bonnie Taylor's If You Were a Woman and I Was a Man, is that also about these deities? Like, serious question, because that would be pretty cool if it was. Like, just by some kind of cosmic coincidence, because that would be really symbolic.
I want this house, $100,000. Here's $10,000 down payment, earnest money. Well, if you don't come back and pay the rest, or you get a loan, they get to keep your $10,000 earnest money. You lose it.
Now, we got a share reference, so got to bring it up. If I could turn back time, Hovind. Kent is getting around to finishing Psalm 119. We're hopefully at the tail end. But yeah. Last time I checked, indentured servitude is just slavery with a few extra steps. Yeah.
That wrought for us the selfsame thing is God, who hath given us the earnest of the Spirit, The moment you get saved, the Holy Spirit moves inside of you. He's the down payment that God's going to finish the deal. So if you don't, if you could lose your salvation, then the Holy Spirit goes to hell, the earnest of our inheritance, until the redemption of the purchased possession. Anyway, be surety for thy servant, for good. Let not the proud oppress me. Mine eyes fail for thy salvation, and for the word of thy righteousness. Deal with thy servant according to thy mercy, and teach me thy statutes. I am thy servant. Give me understanding, that I may know thy testimonies.
Yeah, back in high school, I would explain to people my music tastes go from Dido to Cradle of Filth. Then it really hasn't changed. And I got just some of the corniest crap. You know, you got fucking Backstreet Boys and NSYNC shit hanging out in there next to Cradle of Filth and other stuff. You got, fucking Beast in Black. You got random Russian pop people who are probably like Z propagandists now, but the music's still good, so I don't know. Don't ask, don't tell. It has to be good for something. The music tastes are just all over the place. Like my playlist is fucking like my like list, because I'm the guy who just has one massive list of songs he likes in Spotify. I don't make any playlists. Let me go through most recent stuff. The Edge by Dave McCallum, Temptation by Harisu, Magic by I can't read that name. It's in Korean. A song title I can't read by Eugene, another Korean pop artist, because I went through stuff. Question by Ha Yu Sun. So a bunch of, again, 90s to 2000s era K-pop. I Drew Out the Love of My Dreams by Weezer, Karma Police, Radiohead, Where Were You Last Night, Anki Bagger, Angel Eyes by ABBA, Ravishing by Bonnie Tyler, Fantasy Boy Special Disco Cut by New Bakara, Push It by Garbage, Nevermore by Elf, Poison Heart by the Ramones, which I swear is a fucking theme of mine now, Zeoric, Team Grimoire, Floor of Lava by Ice, those are specialty tracks, that Clown Piece song by Iosiz, the one I put on my YouTube channel and the instrumental thing, Fame by Irina Cara, Apache by The Shadows, Subways of Your Mind, of course, by FEX, the most mysterious song on the internet. As soon as it was put on Spotify, I added that in. Black Number One, Little Mascara, Hey Sandy by Polaris, the Pete and Pete theme, How Could You Know by Steve Yu, the Ace of Base demo for that would be Tokyo Girl, Into This World. What else? There's Vana in here, Kiss Strutter, fucking even Break My Stride by Matthew Wilder, because sometimes that song just perks me up. Fucking Divine, You Think You're a Man, ask Prince Watercress about that one. I mean, my stuff goes all over the place because I'm big on rock, metal, dance, pop, disco, Italio disco, especially into Eurobeat and the like. It's just all over the place. If it flows just right, I groove with it. That's the only way I can describe it. I know it's true of everybody, but yeah.
I pray that so many times. Lord, help me. Give me wisdom. Give me guidance. Give me understanding. You should do the same thing. You want God to guide you? Well, ask him. It is time for thee, O Lord, to work. For they have made void thy law. They don't follow your law. Therefore, I love thy.
Raymond, we can totally jive with that here. That is just 100% like, okay, I'm cool with that. Just straight up. I guess I'm just biased that way. I used to be pagan.
Thy commandments above gold, yea, than fine gold.
Oh yeah, that's another thing. Michael Jackson is one of my absolute favorite artists as well.
There's a difference between gold and fine gold? Well, yeah, I'll show you here. Therefore, I esteem all thy precepts concerning all things to be right. I hate every false way.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go into some deep cuts on Beach Boys. Not the typical stuff, but some of their deeper things. And yeah, Brian Wilson going. That's a loss to the cultural zeitgeist.
See, fine gold is 24 karat, which is really soft. That's why they don't want to use it for jewelry, because it scratches and mars, bends too easily. The carat system, scale up to 24. Why that? Why 24? I don't know, and I don't really care. Okay. 24 karat represents pure gold, 99.9%. They heat it, and the scum, the dross comes to the top. They scrape it off. They keep heating it, and eventually all the dross is gone, and now it's considered pure gold, 24 karat. 18 karat gold contains 75%.
Oh man, Oingo Boingo is just something else. Forbidden Zone. That song is amazing, and seriously, if you have not watched the film Forbidden Zone, it's only an hour and like 20 minutes, but oh my god, is it a fun trip of stupidity. Seriously, Forbidden Zone. Fucking love it. Fucking love it. Metallica. Yep.
Gold and 25% other metals like silver or something. 14 karat is 58.5% gold. Pure gold is very soft and not typically used in jewelry due to its malleability. It's too easy to bend or dent, okay? Thy testimonies are wonderful, therefore doth my soul keep them. The entrance of thy words giveth light. It giveth understanding to the simple. To read the Bible, you start to get understanding. Even the simple people can get it. The simple are mentioned in the Bible quite a few times. The law of the Lord is perfect, converting the soul. The testimony of the Lord is sure, making wise the simple. Look, you don't think you're too smart? Read God's word. God will give you wisdom. He makes wise the simple. Let's see. How long ye simple
Implying I'm simple, Kent.
ones, will you love simplicity? The scorners delight in the scorning, and fools hate knowledge. I beheld among the simple ones. Solomon telling his son in Proverbs 7, don't go near the prostitute's house. He said, I looked out my window and I saw one of the simple ones, one of the dumb kids, go past the prostitute's house. And she talked him into coming in, took all his money from him. Read the story in Proverbs 7.
Yeah, if you're going to watch Forbidden Zone, there's effectively three versions of it. There's the original black and white version, because it was actually filmed in black and white, and the intent was it for to be digitally colored. Yeah, right. Inked in China, but the budget ran long. I mean, the dude behind it had to sell the rights to it and had to fight to get them back. That's how crazy it was. But the fuck. There's a second version that's a proper colorized version once he got the rights back. But then they realized, the blackface might be a little uncouth. So the newest proper releases have him have the character changed into a clown, and some of the dialogue, shifted and such, so it's a little less direct. It doesn't work the same way. The raw absurdity of the original Knights of Oingo Boingo skit, archetypes they were working with, really painted the absurdity of the story. And so, while I'd never condone blackface in just about any other case, for Forbidden Zone, in this particular situation, it is a pure absurdist film. So it works in the exact same way that Jewish stereotypes in the film, from people who are Jewish, mind you, worked. So, for the sake of art. But God, I can't believe I just defended that. But yeah, that's the only case where I'd ever defend that kind of crap, because it just works for what they were doing and was intended for the absurdity itself. Like, there's one other case in media where I'll defend it, and that is in Mad Men, when Sterling is singing Old Kentucky Home in blackface, but it's indicative of cultural stereotypes, especially of the wealthy, in the early mid 60s, where they would do shit like that and they think nothing of it, even though it was a time of social progress. Depicting it in the story added to the character, and made you understand these people a little better. Sometimes even the worst things can be used to good effect.
Simple believeth every word. The prudent man looketh well to his going. The simple inherit folly. Smite the scorner, and the simple will beware. And reprove one that hath understanding, he will understand knowledge. If you got a bunch of kids acting up in class, you pick the one that's doing the most trouble and give them some kind of punishment. All the rest of them, oh, not me. Yep. You smite the scorner, and the simple will beware. A prudent man foreseeth the evil. He looks and sees what's coming, but the simple pass on and are punished. See, a prudent man will look ahead and say, wow, traffic's jammed up there. Let's go a different way. The simple just keep on going and then wait in traffic for 3 hours. Okay. For they that are such serve not our Lord Jesus Christ, but their own belly. And good works, by good works and fair speeches, deceive the hearts of the simple. Mentioned in the Bible, 15 verses have that phrase, the simple. I opened my mouth, and panted, for I longed for thy commandments. Look thou upon me, and be merciful unto me, as thou used to do unto those that love thy name. Order my steps in thy word, and let not any iniquity have dominion over me. Deliver me from the oppression of man. So will I keep.
Talk about the band outfield, because yeah, they're nice. I mean, the main thing I know of theirs, I've heard some of the other stuff. The main thing I know is, of course, the main single, "Your Love." But I fucking love that song so much, so damn much. It's crazy how just perfect that song is to me.
Thy precepts. Dominion. Don't let iniquity have dominion over me. Some of you right now have some kind of sin that has dominion over you. It's your boss. You can't stop, can you? Whatever that might be. Dominion. The power of right of governing and controlling. What controls you? Little bitty stick of tobacco. You got to have it. No,
Boy, he's really got a problem with smokers. I say that like it's a bad thing, but it's just the way he articulates it.
you're not tougher than a 3-inch long stick of tobacco. What?
I don't know, man. Chemical addiction's a bitch. Just like you got this dopamine addiction every time you ramble on about Jesus or your evolution. And hey, you hadn't brought up evolution yet, so that's a plus.
Controls you? A little remote control in your house. You can't control it, can you?
The control doesn't control them. People like to be entertained. It sometimes helps break away from the stressful hell that is regular life.
Make thy face to shine upon thy servants and teach me thy statutes. Rivers of waters run down mine eyes because they keep not thy law. Lord, I wish they would keep your law. You ought to just
Yeah, I can agree with this. Embracing that people were absolute fucking dipshits at a point in time. It's understandable. You know, like you should. How can I phrase this? You erase history, you forget the stuff that happened. You know, you forget the problems that were caused by things, and so we end up repeating these things because we don't have them to reflect on and have that feeling of like, oh, this isn't right. No, I am no longer active on Twitter. I haven't been since November. Um, I have an account, Kurisu underscore Yamato, but I don't use it. So I'm on Blue Sky and Mastodon. And, I have a lot of my own services I run. Should set up my own Mastodon instance, but I just don't feel like it. There's like 20 steps you got to do, and I'm lazy.
just weep over the fact that we're so far.
Although, be proud of me. If you're a tech savvy person, you'll realize I finally stopped running a major piece of software as root. Yeah, it only took me 5 fucking years to decide to change that. Oh well, at least the system is in better shape than it was. Far more secure. Although I question how much damage could be done by Asterisk, but any service running as root is a risk.
From God's law. It's sad. Okay, short one tonight, brother. Comments or questions? My poor throat here.
Yeah, all in your poor throat. It's because you've been talking so much, not because of other things. Also, wow, we made it through this one quick, but it was only like 20 minutes. And why do I have 66 viewers? Hi, everybody. Where are all these people coming from? It was also weird to see the first movie and realize that they'd taken the Forbidden Zone theme song for the Dilbert cartoon. Yeah, that was the reason I discovered Forbidden Zone was the Dilbert connection. And I'm like, oh, the Dilbert theme's so awesome. Then I realized, oh, it's a song from '79? Holy shit. It was so freaking awesome. I mean, Forbidden Zone is just fucking great. Smoke the trees. Smoke in your house. Incense and meditation. Totally. The forbidden fruit is the drugs. Maria agrees with Godspeed. Do have a copy of the Jazzy Singers, the first film with synchronized audio, not because of the blackface. Yeah. Hell, one of my favorite pieces of music ever is, of course, Putting on the Ritz, which has different lyrics that I actually really like the original lyrics and the way they flow and the picture they paint. For me, thinking about it, it was obviously a little biased or bigoted at the time, but now I just think of people of all types, blowing all their money on a Friday night. But the film it originally comes from has a big blackface studio scene with the creepiest fucking background you can ever imagine. Holy shit. That original version of Putting on the Ritz from the film is disturbing. But yeah, it also contains fucking blackface, which is pretty offensive, but it's also culturally significant because this was 1930, and we have to understand that's the kind of shit people did back then. Okay, Raymond. I'll have to check it out at some point. Birds are dinosaurs. Birds are indeed dinosaurs. Hi, Dr. Nick. His throat. Yeah. Can't go to a doctor about the throat. It could be serious. I don't know. As people are putting, the YouTube algorithm has discovered me. I don't understand how. I just watch Kent Hovind videos and react. I'm just some atheist jerkbag in Memphis just having fun. Hanging with friends.
Biggest question I want to know is who is Cain talking about? Well, by the time Cain was old enough to kill Abel, let's pick a number and say they're in their 20s or 30s. Okay. How many more kids could Adam and Eve have had?
Over 9,000. I don't know.
A bunch. So I think that but they were maybe, it was a population of the earth was growing. And so Cain was worried about one of his other brothers or sisters finding him and killing him for killing Abel. And who did Cain marry? Married one of his sisters. Adam married his own rib. It wasn't a problem back then. It would be today. Okay.
Yep, how convenient.
I see the post claiming that King James was homosexual. Is that true? That is not true.
Oh, here we go. Man, we were just talking about is this one of our question from Rumble? I don't recognize the name, but I mean we'd all use dummy names on this. Yeah, King James was gay as springtime, buddy, and there's nothing wrong with that.
True. He was not necessarily a godly man, what kings are, very few are. But he didn't do the translation. He just simply paid for it.
Gus and I'll disagree on evolutionary concepts. It's pretty dang open and shut, but I also don't have a desire to argue or anything. Because see, this is how you leave a comment that disagrees. This is how you pop in. It's like, Ken Owen's kind of bad, but evolution might not be, as strong as it's said to be. And I'm like, I could go at for evolutionists or just go at the fact that I strongly disagree with this, but I have no reason to be, hostile to this. So this is how you pop in and comment. That's how you do it.
He didn't even want his name on it. It was called the authorized version for many years. So King James, his name is attached to it now because he paid for it. That's all. Whether he was a good man or not doesn't matter. I think there's an article answering that.
You're asking what does he do regarding Kent Hovind? He is a young Earth creationist who is a known who is a previously convicted felon, spent 9.5 years in prison for tax evasion, a convicted domestic abuser. Basically runs a cult in middle of bumfuck nowhere, Alabama, and is obsessed with evolution and attacking it with a ridiculous script of lies, damn lies, and statistics. Made up statistics. Yeah, very much. I don't even call it anti-Hovind. He's a lolcow. Lolcow, I milk for laughs. Make fun of Kenty Boy mostly. Young Frankenstein, yeah, from the 70s, but Putting on the Ritz is from 1930-ish. That song is old. The lyrics we know are from I think Fred Astaire version. The lyrics were redone in the 50s to the version that would have been in like Putting on the Ritz, and of course the Taco cover in the 80s. Yeah, no, it's an old song. That song is good God. That song is 95 years old. Wow. Ethiopian families walking by and have to smile. Everyone I met from Africa is really nice.
Question on avpublications.com. If you go to AV Publications, let's see, I had the book here. Gail Ripplinger has done extensive research on the history of the King James. Just go there. Tell Gail I said hi. Okay? We look forward to these live streams every evening. Well, good. Amber.
Well, Sleek the Geek, welcome. Glad you found me. And I guess I could say I'm glad to. Well, I'm definitely glad to have you. I can't even say I just can't say. Oh, I guess I'm glad to have you. Of course I am. What I was gonna say is I guess I'm glad for you to have found me. I don't know. There's a reason for things I say. That's another trademark with me, or trait with me, is that I stumble over everything I say, but I have these beautiful moments of perfect eloquency, and then the rest of the time I'm a stammering idiot. But you're getting a genuine, reaction, a genuine experience. Yep, Ken Ham is just a silly. And yeah, over 9,000 being a mistranslation. Yeah, he actually says over 8,000. I always thought that was pretty neat that they just they just went with 9,000. Just yeah. What was the underground tunnel for? What underground tunnel? I need to know. Kent Oven, or whatever his name is. Watch some videos dunking on him. He's fun to make fun of. Okay, well, welcome. You're definitely going to enjoy. King James was at odds with Shakespeare. That's how Shakespeare became the greatest writing. Huh. That's a thought. So what is Rumble, and when, how can one see Kinty Boy stream and ask a question hypothetically? I mean, Rumble is just a YouTube clone, effectively, for right-wing nut jobs. I mean, it's technically a free speech place, but yeah. And I mean, if we want to go to Kent Hovind Official, I'll just drop that in the chat. Give me uno momento. Boop, boop. There's his Rumble if y'all want to mess around with stuff. Oh man, the chat is... I'm going to be very, very youthful sounding with this. Chat is popping. Chat is popping. Serious doesn't know what King James was gay and they is long. And yeah, Gauss and all, no problem. Yeah, I mean, if you feel like hanging out, feel free. If you want to pop in with more commentary on stuff, or everyone to discuss things, things are open. I've got a Discord. Links in the video description. So, that should go to everybody. There is a Discord link down there. And it should work this time. I hope it works. Please work. What's the age of the dinosaurs? Noah put them on the ark. Probably babies. Kent Hovind. Yep. And tax evader.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Please spread it around. That's it. You're good at simplifying the word of God. Thank you. That's what I want. I'll make it simple. It is.
Yes, he actually is a sovereign citizen, although he denies it. He acts like he doesn't know what they are. Yeah, with his tax protesting and stuff, and he'll pull sovereign citizen rhetoric. He's got a whole video on like the way the economy is. This isn't real money and shit like that. Absolute soft-sit stuff to the letter. Horrible person who is a lolcow, Sleek the Geek says, and the taco cover put on the Ritz is the best, don't at me. Ooh, and if you look at the original version, as Otaku puts right here, love the taco version, another piece of media with blackface. They censored it later, and when they have these weird cuts that are like little slow-mo sections of different random frames with like kind of a blur effect around it, yeah, that's where they took out the blackface. Super duper. Parabags. Know about the blackface? Yeah, you have to kind of hunt for the original version. Look on YouTube, Taco putting on the Ritz, uncensored or original version, and you'll hopefully catch it. It's just a little pop in, and it's symbolic of the origins of the song and the Harry Richmond film. Or he was the writer of the song, the film that it's in from the 30s. Lord would convince them to not hatch everything. Pleasure for you have met me meeting. Pleasure for you to have met me meeting you. Yeah, there you go. There you go. That works. That works right there. Victim of abusing his ex-wife, Cindy. Yep. James pissed a lot of people off because I always treated his male lover, his favorites. But he did manage to sire 7 legitimate kiddos, including Charles had to remember. Charles the First, I had to remember. That's another thing. I'm slowly going blind, so I have to like zoom in and be all close to the screen to see, what people are commenting. It's over 9,000. Technically, if something's over 9,000, it's still over 8,000. This is true. Kent Hovind is a lolcow. King James had an underground tunnel connecting to another dude's quarters for reasons. Ah, yes. Yes, that's the tunnel. Sorry, there's so many things going on. And his boyfriend, Ken Ham, is even funnier. Yep. 855 Big Dino, extension 3. That gets Hovind. Fun fact for those of you new, I made a joke about 855 Big Dildo, DLDO as the letters, and I tried to get that 800 number, and it wasn't available because it's like 3536 or something like that. In fact, let me look. Yeah. 353, yeah, it's 3536. So all 800 35, 8xx 3536s are taken. It sucks. So I can never have a toll-free big dildo number. People riding dinosaurs. Ken and Kent broke up though. Let me finish Hovind and we'll get into some of the chat.
Bible's true. You better do what it says. Yeah. Okay. See you tomorrow.
Lies.
Whack an atheist. Love it. Goodbye.
Yeah, let's see who you whack. By the way, the other day, Simon Dan sent an actual email to Hovind, and Hovind replied, I'm not privy to details beyond there's a secret message in there. So whenever Hovind does address it, or if Dan eventually does a video on it, you'll see the secret message. I don't know what it is, so I'll be just as surprised as you guys. And as far as Ken Ham and Kent Hovind go, Kent is supposed to be going to the Ark Encounter protest, which Ambushed Apostate and I are slated to go to if everything works out right. So one, I'll meet Hovind. I want him to bring Dino Lamp so I can get my photo with Dino Lamp, but it'll probably never happen. Actually, I should get in touch with Joseph about that. See if they'll actually do it. That'd be amazing. But sorry, the Dino Lamp is actually a meme for us, so it's funny. It used to be on sometimes, and then they stopped turning it on, and I think it was to spite me. But yeah, so it's funny that Kent is going to be going to Ken Ham's Ark Encounter, and he's asking, for our atheist protest to counter it. And he's saying he needs somewhere to stay. And it's like, what? Ken Ham won't put you up somewhere? Like, come on. That's pathetic. Godspeed says, I'm a libertarian. I hate sovereign citizens because they make us look like dumb hillbillies with delusions of grandeur. Yeah, there's a big difference between a libertarian stance and an actual soft stance. There's a lot you guys respect as far as if one dumbs it down, order and standards go and reality go. You've got a lot of personal freedom that you want in choice, but it does not go anywhere near soft sit extremities. Sorry, just straight up to chug some soda on stream. Doesn't matter. Speaking of blackface, the movie Holiday Inn has a song called Abraham, and it's icky. It's an old movie from the 40s, 50s, but I won't recommend it because with the Abraham number. Noted. The positive Bing Crosby. Oh, man. Libertarian philosophy is so misunderstood and lied about sovereign citizens to make it worse. Yeah. Dude is going blind. No, not literally, but my vision's pretty bad. It's getting worse. No. This isn't the one that you would have seen in Creaky's video, which I covered because I tend to be, a day behind on Hovind videos. I get them on the after work on the following day from when they were uploaded. So we had looked at it then because of the fake email. Dan had seen my video on it because he hangs out in my Discord from time to time, and he watches my content when he has the time. It's a big honor. And so he said, I'm going to just go on and email him. So that's why I say I'm a bit privy to some stuff. He sent an actual email. And yeah. Take Aaron Ra. Aaron Ra was supposed to go to the ARC protest, but his wife is going to be out of town, so he has to watch the animals. So he had to cancel, which sucks, but it is what it is. Take anyone but Dillahunty. He can be he's his own case. Try birds. Nothing about Hovind or James, but I want to say it's summer in Minnesota. Nice. Very nice, Maria. I'm glad. It's actually comfortable up there. And stream was fun for about 5 minutes before I got muted. Oh well, it lasted longer than expected. Okay. At least you got in there. Because yeah, he should be live right about now. I have an account on Rumble. I'm not logged into it from Chrome, the browser I do this stuff with, but from Firefox. I pop in there from time to time and do a little random stuff. Yeah, Ian. Yeah, you're late again. I hate that. I wish I could stream when everyone's available. Dillahunty is fun to watch, but I won't want to be his friend. I don't think. There's a bit much with him sometimes. Want a good movie with blackface, CSA, the Confederate States of America, an alt history documentary where the South won. Oof. I should check that out. Partially mocks common racism from the 20th century. That's on the list. Yeah, that's the thing with Matt. He can sometimes just be a bit much, and I can relate to that. I can sometimes be a bit much on stuff. We watched it recently. It can be much of time, so I just remind you the filmmakers aren't actually pro-Confederacy. Yeah. Well, it's like we were talking about Downfall a couple of weeks back, and it's like good and well, not a single person involved in that film is pro-Hitler, pro-Nazis, but the idea of humanizing Adolf Hitler and his end and the bunker situation, incredible storytelling. And was it Bruno Ganz? I think was his name. Just perfect performance. It's funny that he's forever going to be remembered as playing Hitler, but he also did just the best performance of capturing the human that was that monster. Bird Park equals Dino Land. Gotcha. That makes sense. I'm a little slow sometimes. And by slow, sometimes I mean all the time. All the time. LAT loves the movie. CSA is free on YouTube. All right. I think Matt Dillahunty radicalized Steve McRae. That would be an interesting thing to hear. Let me share. We already got some people. There you go. We got into stuff. Yeah. Sorry, I'm being goofy. Let me generate a invite link. I'm just gonna pop one in for those of you who aren't hitting the description because mobile or what have you. There's a Discord link. I have put it in the chat. So if y'all would like to join, there you go. I have not seen The Producers. I need to. I have seen Inglorious Bastards. My old boss let me borrow his copy and watch it because I was doing some deep research into the Holocaust and I was apparently getting a little bummed. So yeah, it had to make me laugh. Slow burn in the beginning, but man, it was good. Yeah, I've noticed that from Steve. I hadn't had much interaction since I left Twitter. Yeah, I do not like where our friend McRae has gone. Very much too much. Like I want to like the guy, and I don't hate him, and I considered myself, friendly to him while I was active on Twitter, and still wouldn't not talk with him because there hadn't been any bad blood between us. But I have to, draw lines at some points. Oh man, yeah, Mel Brooks has been brought up a few times here without us even realizing it. Spaceballs too. Everyone, ready for that? I mean, we all gotta be ready. I mean, it's fucking Spaceballs too. Man, we ain't found shit. I hadn't watched Blazing Saddles. I need to watch Blazing Saddles. How is that link expired? It's a fresh link. What are you doing? What are you doing? Freaking. Let me see. No. It fired away. It may have just been a bug. Because, yeah, it fired on my end, so try it again. Yeah, dude's 98 and planning to act. That's going to be freaking impressive. And yeah, Steve McRae from the old Google Plus debate community. Great debate. We one of the videos we did a while back happened to be the R and Raw Kent Hovind discussion that was featured on Non Sequitur back in the Steve McRae Kyle Curtis days. I mean, Steve still has it. I mean, he got ownership of it again. You know what I mean? If you know, you know. That kind of thing. You and Steve have bad blood. Understandable. Understandable. Yeah, his whole thing on agnosticism and atheism, where I get his logic, and I agree that the logic is sound, but I don't agree that that's the way the words wind up being used. So the logic chain kind of becomes a moot point. And I hate that because I usually agree with some cool hard logic like anybody, but word usage is word usage. And as much of a stickler as I can be for, things being exact, like retro not meaning old, sometimes it's just, it works. Jews in space. Well, if you listen to spirit science, the Jews came from space. True story. That's what he thinks. Men in tights. That was a funny one. I ain't seen that since I was a kid. Blazing Saddles, some of my favorite jokes I cannot repeat out loud. One of my early streams I brought out where all the white women at. Well, just because it's just funny to say. Technically, it's only weird if you look in the context, which is what makes it funny. So saying it out of context makes it equally funny. Sorry for the up yours. If you know, you know. Blazing Saddles never be made today. Yeah. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, my Discord server is a pretty weird place as well. There's a lot of regulars here who you won't are in there who you haven't seen here yet because they're off busy having real lives. It's a fun little place to hang out. Also, I love how this has just become a hangout stream. Afraid of Matt Dillahunty would not be able to defend my atheism because just realized I don't believe you get there through logic story, but Matt D would just eat me alive. Yeah, I want to say he wouldn't, but there is a very hard, logic thing to him. It can't just be a matter of feeling either way, or the particular nuance that doesn't agree with his hard, coded logic. Just, I don't know. It's weird. That's the important thing. It's very weird. And Matt used to be friends, but there was some beef over money, and Steve went ultra MAGA. On a side note, remember when Matt Dillahunty basically said "fuck you" to Modern Day Debate because they put him up against that flat earther who was just a complete prick immediately? I kind of stopped watching Modern Day Debate after that because that was a dick move by James. Very dick move. We should watch that sometime. Oh no. Agnostic nor atheist until I met the gods. Now I'm pagan. Raymond, like I said, you're welcome here, which is funny. A bunch of atheists welcoming a theist, but, pagan theology. A lot of us seem to be able to get behind that. The Merkaba thing, yep. Men in Tights reused the Jews in Space song. Agnostic is different from whether one believes in God is real. You can be an agnostic theist. Yeah. Just at my friend, though, where the white women at, Jeff, yesterday. Yeah, so I remember the debate community was them moving to Mew. Funny how YouTube recommended me your stream. Subscribe. Thank you, Fable Architect. I appreciate that. Love the Klansmen with "Have a nice day" smiley faces on their backs. Yes. Oh, I forgot. I forgot about that because I've seen the clip. Because remember, I've never seen the movie. Now that's where the clip's from. Look it, I'm gonna watch that at 7:26. I'm gonna add that to my list of shit to watch because I'm gonna play Guild Wars and then probably get an episode of Blacklist. Not having real life, still at work. We can get to work in Lego today. Boo! No Lego. Go most of my streams in with everyone discussing media for a while. No, I usually just say, thanks for stopping by. Much love. I'll catch everyone next time. Then there's some rustling around as I fumble to hit the end stream button. Finished a Gundam model. Nice. Dave, I'm not sure if it was Dave. Peterson on Jubilee thing. Idea. Dave Weiss. No. It wasn't Dave Weiss. It was some other guy. Maybe it wasn't even a flat earther. Maybe it was something else. It was a gender thing. I'm not sure. It's a famous moment. So you'll eventually find it. I would look it up now, but I'm afraid opening another tab and doing a hunt will cause everything to crash. My computer is old. This thing's from 2014. I'm running a dinosaur here, people. Which is why you can support the stream via super chats, super thanks on previous streams. I got a Patreon, all kinds of things. Peterson on Jubilee thing. I have not. Very atheist, not a fan of the pagan thing, but as long as you aren't a jerk about it, I'm not going to give you a hard time. Whatever anyone believes. And see, I'm partial to the pagan thing. I mean, I'm definitely atheist as all get out, but I got a soft spot for that. So, Andrew Wilson should explain why by basic morals and ethics on lies is not a good idea. Yeah. Need to parts picking if I can build any more. Pagan morality is superior and harm none. Do as you will. Yeah. And that just sums it all up nicely. Last Gundam model till you get paid. Well, congratulations. Gotten home from work finally after only an extra hour because of my own foolishness. Yeah. I had to redo some shit at work today myself, and it's like, great. And I got out on time because they're being sticklers about everyone clocking out on time. But yeah. Later's alley. Yeah. Go back to actually working. Sadly, yeah. Work's overrated. True, but it pays them bills. One of them. It was some dude who just made personal attacks against Matt. Yeah. Yeah, dude was just a dick from the get-go. After Matt had already expressed that he didn't like the kinds of people because he got matched up with some weirdo the previous debate. Jordan Peterson is a king of word salad. I don't know. Carl Baugh, I think, still holds that title. Cooked on that one totally. Buddhist, yeah. Yeah, no problem with Buddhism at all. I mean, I consider it philosophical, and even if you create a divine aspect with the Buddha construct, I can jive with that. As Otaku puts, yeah, pretty nice. Yeah, I mean, I don't have a problem with Buddhism at all. Let's see what else. Just got out of my car, realized my keys were still inside it. Damn. That sucks. That didn't just regular suck. That like super sucks. That is the suckiest thing to ever suck. I don't know. I'm trying to fit the suck quota today. Don't clip that. I gotta put in 47 sucks before the day is done. What do you mean, Chris? You know what I mean. The suckity suck, fuck. Yep. Making fun of Matt's girlfriend. Buddhism more philosophy than religion, honestly. Yeah. It's philosophy that can be considered religion depending on how a person adapts it into themselves, I take. But I also think the concept of religion being a personal ethos is all it actually is. And everything else it's become as a concept is kind of is giving it way too much broad cultural significance. But that's just me. Live debate where the guy just started saying transphobic things towards Arden. I think so. Too late. Landlord's around to let me go to my apartment so I get the spare key. Excellent. Depends on the form, really, whether or not it's a religion or not. Yep. Load 4 to 7 sucks. And what do you get? Another day older and deeper in debt. My girlfriend sucked 47 dicks in a row. Taoism, favorite thing about it is it honestly doesn't claim ultimate truth or knowledge, but instead says both are unknown and unknowable. I'm partial to Sikhism as well. Little principles that they have, I kind of get, I can jive with that as well. Really like them. I apologize. I'm starting to get sleepy. I've had a very rough day. Yeah, the problem with the religion stuff is concerned when they try to dominate and just, yeah, take over everything. Car is older than dirt. But how's it older than dirt? All the cars are the same age. And what was this car waiting around till the other cars were put on top of it? Was it just driving around the cosmos? Hey, you get back here. Clerks 3 was depressing. Like really depressing. But good. I marathoned all 3 of them in a row because I'd actually never seen them. So yeah. Yin Yang's like God and Goddess, Adam and Eve. I can see the symbology. But okay. Um Getting a little tired. Like I said, gotta knock out Guild Wars. Um and get ready at 7:34. Yes, I want to knock out the dailies and that, and then get ready to go to sleep. There, now my whole audience yawned. Y'all are awesome. Thanks to all the new people coming in. You fucking rock. Thanks to those who joined the Discord. Hopefully you'll find it fun. Um, I do these streams often, so just check out. I announce stuff in the Discord as well, just a little bit before it goes live. So expect a random notification off and on. And yeah, just again, appreciate all of you. Thanks so much for hanging out. Had a fun little post stream chat. Hell, the whole chat was mostly us. The whole video was just us chatting. We didn't really pay attention to Hovind, not beyond where we had to. But he didn't say much this time, which is actually kind of nice. But yeah, much love as always.